Hi, I'm Robin. I have a cold today, but I've been making up excuses not to start a video for a while, so I'm just gonna do this anyway and you'll put up with me, probably. So I've been trying to figure out what I would do my first video about for a while, and it seems like everybody's talking about the KonMari method right now. Marie Kondo, Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, her Netflix series. She wrote 2 books. The first one is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and it was kind of life-changing magic for me when I read it. I also wanted to talk about my zero waste journey, what inspired me, what's making me continue to do it, and the life-changing magic of tidying up is kind of where it started. So I read that book in 2015, and I started with my closet and worked my way through all of the categories. I did it faithfully, exactly how she wanted me to do it, and finished up somewhere around, so I started at the beginning of 2015, I finished up somewhere around the middle of 2016, I guess, and realized as I was doing the process that I owned so many things that I let into my life with no intentions whatsoever. Sometimes I went to the mall just because I felt like buying something. I didn't even have anything in mind. So going through the whole tidying up process, what I started to realize was that I owned a lot of things that I didn't care about at all. And I wanted, once I had gone through the process, what I really wanted was to have things in my life that meant something to me, that were useful to me, that made me feel good. And through that, I sort of also was throwing all these things away that didn't mean anything to me. And you can't help but wonder, why did I have this if it meant nothing to me? So through all of that, I think was where I started to kind of get more into minimalism and the zero waste lifestyle. I had first run into zero waste in probably 2010 or 2011. I was following B. Johnson, I think is how you say her name, her blog, and possibly maybe also Trash is for Tossers. I can't remember which one of them it was, but one of them on their blog posted a mason jar of all of the waste that they had accumulated in an entire year, and it all fit into a jar. And instead of being inspired by that, honestly, in 2010, where I was in my life, I was like, that's impossible. So like, good for her, but I don't think I can change myself that much, so I don't even want to try. This is Sweet Pea, by the way. She's cute. So even though I was aware that people were living that zero waste lifestyle, it wasn't anything that I was interested in when I first came across it. Really, my zero waste sort of journey, I guess, started after I did the KonMari process, and I watched how many bags of garbage I was throwing away from my house. And this is something that I think a lot of people have a problem with when it comes to the KonMari method, is the fact that you're throwing away so much. I mean, I did what I could to donate things that were still useful, and I donated clothes, and I was pretty intentional about making sure that if something was recyclable, that it went into the recycling bin, and that if it was usable by another person, that I, made it, tried to make it so that someone else could use it. However, that would be donating it or giving it to a friend or whatever. But for the most part, a lot of the stuff that I was getting rid of was just pure garbage. And I think that that's why people are so unlikely to really take to the KonMari method, especially if they are already zero wasters. If you're already a zero waster, let's be honest, you probably don't need the KonMari method because it's about getting you to a point where you don't want to waste things. And so I can see why someone who's been living zero waste already would look at the KonMari method and think that it was ridiculous to be that it was just creating more waste, basically. I saw this New Yorker cartoon that was like a picture of the Earth from space, and they're like at one point on the Earth there's just this pile of garbage, and underneath it says like the Marie Kondo landfill or whatever. And yeah, I get it, like watching her show, seeing how much people throw away, reading her book, like she brags a lot about how many garbage bags worth of stuff leave her clients' homes. And that's a little bit difficult to imagine. But here's the thing. I think that anyone who's actually gone through the KonMari method and has examined all of their things and has properly thanked all of the things that they've let go, because you are supposed to do that, anybody who's gone through that process of picking up every single thing that they own and looking at it and saying, does this spark joy, does this not spark joy? Or, you know, to put it another way, the minimalist would say, you know, does this add value or does this not add value? In the end, it's the same thing, really. It's just one's a little bit more like touchy-feely. But yeah, I mean, if anyone who's done that, I think is going to realize that they don't want to keep living like that. And I think that that's where the KonMari method and zero waste kind of come together is, yes, you have up to this point accumulated a lot of garbage and you're going to throw a bunch of stuff away. But once you've done that with intention, you're not going to go back to the way that you were before. Once you realize how much all of those little unintentional purchases can build up into literally piles and piles of garbage, you don't go back to it. I mean, even if you don't care about the planet at all, and all you care about is having a tidy home, you're still not going to go back to the way you were before once you've done the KonMari method, because you can see how beneficial it is to have only what you really like and need and use in your house. I mean, like I said, I finished in 2016. It's now 2019. My drawers are still folded the way that Marie Kondo says you should fold drawers. You know, things in my house continue to, instead of increase, decrease, because it's kind of a journey. You know, just like zero waste is a journey. You don't start out having done the KonMari method, you do it once, you're done. It's a way of living more than anything. And I think that if more people had actually did the KonMari method, more people would understand that it's not a wasteful process, that it's actually a process that helps people to understand their relationship with their things and how what they buy impacts their own homes and also the world that they live in, basically. That's my very short, probably super rambly first kind of look into maybe what this channel is going to become. I hope to kind of maybe make some more videos about zero waste stuff. I think even in my, you know, little bits of Instagram that I've been posting, a lot of people have a lot of questions about how to start, or, you know, what small things they could do in the beginning. I'll make some more videos, hopefully, and you know, I'm not going to promise that I'm going to put one out once a week, because I don't necessarily think that I will. But here's the first video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Click subscribe if you want to be pleasantly surprised when I post the second one. Okay, bye.